Hello, everyone, and welcome to part two of my chat with the wonderful Sally. She's a mental health first aid trainer. She's qualified, an instructor and a coach. Yesterday, we touched on the important topic of quality of relationships. And today, as part of Mental Health Awareness Week and the theme being loneliness, we're going to talk about the interesting topic of social media. So, Sally, thank you for joining me again today. Talk to me about loneliness and how that links to social media.
It's a really big topic, isn't it? And probably one
Super
we could talk
big.
about all day long. So social media and loneliness. And I think we kind of very briefly touched on it towards the end of our conversation yesterday. So social media and loneliness, we can be connected with lots and lots of people online. A lot of us are on social media frequently, and that could be, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of these different places. But again, not necessarily feel actually connected, have the quality of those relationships. So we could be friends with hundreds and hundreds of people, liking posts, this, that, and the other, but not actually, again, feeling that connectedness with people and feeling lonely. And I think sometimes with social media, there can be a danger that we compare ourselves, and that can impact, our feelings of self-worth and our levels of self-esteem. Self-doubt might start to creep in. We know that on social media. People post those wonderful, lovely things and life and friends and holidays, when the reality of the situation might be completely different, and it could be, the worst holiday ever, but we don't actually show that stuff on social media. And I think equally, people might be using social media frequently, and we're seeing these pictures, we're seeing these stories, but realistically, again, can we ask ourselves, how are people actually feeling when they're not on social media? Are they feeling connected? What is the reality of their situation, or are they feeling lonely? So I think comparing ourselves, our brains are wired to do that. Social media really enhances that. But I think there's always kind of a second view that we can look at. Well, how is this person really feeling? They're showing all of these wonderful things, but do they feel connected? Do they feel supported? Do they feel understood? Do they feel valued? Or do they actually feel lonely?
Wow, so much to talk about there. You just mentioned so many important points. And I love how this social media element also goes back to the quality of relationships that they've got. And I know as estate agents, we're all on social media, we're all showing, what we're doing, how we're feeling. So what would you say to a negotiator who has seen another negotiator on, say, Facebook, boasting about their success, but I'm not feeling too great about it? It's making me feel worse. If I'm in that situation, what would your advice be to a negotiator that's seen that?
Thank you. So I think it's really important to take a step back, remind ourselves of the reality of social media, because I think we've all posted things where, what a wonderful lunch, family get together, but actually we had to send all the food back. So what is the actual reality? And, some people will share their successes. Some people don't share the not so good stuff. That's absolutely true. And, when it comes to successes, the process by which people have got to that as well. So somebody might have been working, 20-hour days. Is that really good for them? How are they really feeling? So I think it is about taking a step back. We're all different anyway. So you're on your own path, you're on your own journey, check in with yourself. Similarly, when I was setting up my business, I was seeing all these kind of mental health advocates, these instructors, coaches, doing all of these wonderful things. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm nowhere near that. I'm rubbish. And it really impacted my confidence, my self-esteem. I was having all sorts of wobbles with myself. Am I doing the right thing? Then I kind of stopped and thought, well, hang on a minute. Looking at this, they've got, 20 years industry experience. They set up their business 20 years ago. I set mine up 2 years ago. I'm on a completely different path. So maybe in 18 years' time, I'll be somewhere close to where they are, which is amazing. Even if I'm halfway to that point, that would be amazing. But I think it's about focusing on ourselves. What's in our control? What can I focus on? What is it that I need to do to engage myself with my work? How can I, take feedback? How can I improve myself? And how can I focus on my own wins? It's really easy to look at everybody else, but how can I focus on my wins and what I'm doing? I can't control what that person's doing, but what I'm doing.
Yeah. I love that, and that's so relevant, isn't it? Because we all do it. We all see each other's successes, and we try and compare our own to it. But we are all very different. And if someone is having a success and you're not, then your success will come. You just got to keep working from it. Don't let someone else's success, put you down. Use it to inspire you to get to their level of success.
Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. So the next bit for me is, in the estate agency industry, we're all on social media. Our posts are getting hundreds of likes and comments and things like that, and views and shares.
Mm-hmm.
But are people necessarily reaching out to those people via a private message to make it more personal? So I might be an estate agent getting hundreds of likes, but no one's actually talking to me, which is how I think loneliness comes into it. Are we saying that, we should drop every single person a message on Facebook or Instagram, or is there another way to go about it?
So I think there are so many ways that we can connect with people. I think, social media can be a great tool for connecting with people. And again, I think it comes to the quality of the relationship. So if we really want to build those deep, meaningful, and the longer term relationships as well, rather than a once and done, so people continue to come back to us. So we have that trust. Personal messages, picking up the phone, sending an email, even sending a voice note. I had somebody connect with me on LinkedIn, and rather than just sending, a random message, they kind of sent a very personal voice note, so it felt a lot more human, and that can take 10 seconds. Yeah. So there's so many tools that we can use to our advantage and how we engage in those. I think sometimes we just get caught up in it all and we just do the same thing over and over again. But how can we change it up? How can we change the way that we're working with people? Initially when we went into lockdown, the reports were that people felt more connected than ever because of the use of technology. Zoom, House Party, FaceTime. We were connecting more with people over technology because we were much more aware and mindful that people could feel lonely. I think people have started to become exhausted with that. So then do we need a change? A lot of us feel Zoom fatigued, right? So why don't I just have a walk and talk over the phone, and I'll go to the park while I'm having a walk and talk over the phone? So how can we change up our communication to again build those relationships? It starts to feel a little bit more new. So I think personal messages can be really important, but if you've got 100, 200 people liking, sharing, commenting, we've also got to be realistic on our time as well. And I think the thing with social media as well is quite often I think people are posting to get the likes, to get the comments, to get the shares, and that might be important as part of our day-to-day roles. But if that's the only reason we're doing it, and then people start to, okay, this isn't getting traction, I'm not getting the likes, I'm not getting the comments, again, that can start to change our levels of self-esteem. People aren't liking it, and we're not getting the dopamine hit. We get that happy hormone hit when we're getting the likes and the comments. So if we're doing these posts purely just to get that, and then we don't get that, we can end up feeling worse.
Yeah, I really like that, because, let's face it, we all do posts for a reason. And if your reason is to get that interaction and you don't get that level of interaction, it's going to make you feel crap for the rest of the day. Why don't people like it? What have I said wrong? Why isn't it right? So really, before you're writing a post or whatever, set your expectations of, well, if it doesn't get many likes, I'm fine with that because I posted it for X reason. So no, I love that. So out of this short session then, we've identified it doesn't matter if you've got hundreds and thousands of followers and comments and you're not getting that level of interaction because it's all different. People might not relate to it, and don't let your day be defined on the outcome of a social media post. And also there's so many ways to reach out to people, to connect with each other on social media, but there's so many different ways on how we do it to make it more personal. Rather than just liking or commenting on something, like Sally said, drop them a short, personal voice recorded message, make that connection for a healthier relationship going forward.
Sounds good. Well,
thank you so much, Sally, and I will see you in part 3.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.